Famcast Media, bitch.
Well, demons and demonesses, guess who decided to make an outrage once again? I swear, these people are like making hits for me. Good evening, demons and demonesses. Kwame Wakan here, and today we're going to be talking about the Paris Olympics. Now, to be honest with you guys, I haven't really been, keeping in track of what's been going on within, athletics and, the Olympics and whatnot. Honestly, this was sent to me by quite a few people on TikTok. So I had to watch the whole thing myself, and I honestly didn't see anything wrong. Once again, the same type of people are out to make themselves victims. And the new thing is the Olympics. Now, I have an article right here for you, and let's just get on with it. Conservatives outraged over drag queens at the Paris Olympics and completely misunderstood everything. The moral panic over a scene of drag queens feasting at the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics set off a firestorm of outrage from religious conservatives and politicians who believed the scene was mockery of the Last Supper, except it wasn't about the Last Supper at all. The so-called reenactment was a scene of Bacchanal, a feast to the Greek god Dionysus. After all, the Olympics originated in ancient Greece, and the Greek gods were part of the culture of that time. French director Thomas Joly, who oversaw the opening ceremony show, explained that the scene was Dionysus arriving on a table and that it was meant to be representative of the gods of Olympus celebrating the Olympic Games. Tell that, though, to those unable to see the scene outside the lens of their conservative religious convictions. They inserted those beliefs into an Olympic celebration put on by the country that had a whole revolution against the oppression of the monarchy and Christianity. Criticisms arose from figures such as Roman Catholic Bishop Robert Barron, who took to act to condemn this scene. French Catholic bishops, who really ought to have known better, complained about the mockery of Christianity, and some Greek Orthodox Church representatives condemned the opening of the Olympics as blasphemous. Churches weren't the only ones complaining. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Elon Musk, who owns the social media platform X, also panned the depiction of the drag queens. C-Spar, a tech company, announced that it was pulling its advertising during the Olympics because of the scene. The organizers of the Olympics apologized, saying that they didn't mean any disrespect for the Christian faith, but rather that they wanted to emphasize tolerance. Tolerance, sadly, isn't what conservatives are noted for, especially since many of them deem the 2024 Olympics as woke. It is fascinating and understandable that the Christians and others who condemned the scene automatically went to the Last Supper as their reference point. Much of their worldview is limited and doesn't consider views that fall outside of their faith. First, the classical image of the Last Supper comes from Da Vinci's painting. It doesn't represent the reality of what the Last Supper looked like. The confusion and misplaced anger over the scene tell us a lot more about conservative Christians and others than perhaps they want us to know. Moral panics like this one demand immediate strong denunciations and lamentations about the decline of morality in society. Moral panics are designed to take control of any narrative in society that are deemed evil or sinful. In this case, drag queens have been the cause of political and religious firestorm, not only in America, but also in conservative religious nations worldwide. Second, the fact that Christians immediately identify the scene as being the Last Supper suggests an intellectual simplicity and a knee-jerk reaction. Had any of these critics looked closely at the table, it didn't resemble Da Vinci's Last Supper at all. The number of people at the table didn't even match the 13 who would have been Jesus and his disciples. Their immediate gut-wrenching response was telling. Not understanding the allusions to Greek mythology or the origins of the Olympic Games and their cultural context suggests that the book-burning, anti-history contingent of religious conservatives has coincided with their ignorance of art, culture, history, and society. Now, this is an example, just like I said in many of my other videos, of Christians that want to be the victims so fucking badly. I often hear from, conservative Christians, Christians are being persecuted all over the world. Christians are being persecuted in America. Christians are being persecuted in Europe. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this wasn't even about you. This was about a completely different religion altogether. But for some reason, these religious conservatives want to get so much in their feelings and want to be the victims so fucking badly that they took this as a mockery of their faith, despite the fact that it's about a completely different religion altogether. But this also goes to show you something about Christianity. So much of Christianity has been plagiarized from other religions that when you go to talk about those other religions, those same Christians will assume that you're talking about them. So many of these people are just so narrow-minded that they can't get over the fact that their religion isn't the only religion in the world that's practiced. The whole world doesn't revolve around Christianity. The whole world doesn't revolve around the Bible. And, this is something that I've debated Christians, well, especially, extremely religious conservative Christians, about for many, many years when they ask me why I don't believe in God. And then I ask them, in counter response, well, technically you don't believe in every single God out there. There's over 28,000 different gods, yet you only believe in one, and I don't believe in either 28,000 of them. And their response to me usually is, there's only one God. Well, if there was only one God, wouldn't there only be one religion? If there was only one God, where did the other 28,000 gods come from? I mean, you're telling me out of all the years you've lived on this planet, you've never met someone that practiced Hinduism. You've never met someone that practiced Norse paganism. You've never opened up your history book and read about, the ancient Mayan gods or the ancient Chinese gods. And the fact that so many people can watch the Olympics and not know that the fact that the Olympics were based on, the Greek gods. It's at this point where I think that they did all this on purpose, just so they can end up in the news, just so they can get people like me and like everyone else to start talking about them again. Maybe this saying is true. All publicity is good publicity, even if it's negative. It's like, maybe this isn't just an American thing anymore. Maybe we're at the point in time where people want to get famous by doing and saying things that are completely stupid and irrational. People want to open up their mouths before even thinking. Now, speaking of mockery, I got to ask all of you these questions, and I'm pretty sure all of you have been on the internet long enough to have seen at least one of these memes. How many pictures of there are politicians that are depicted as angels, that are being depicted as angelic, or holy, or godlike? I'm pretty sure we've all seen pictures of, angels around, President Trump, or, President Trump with halos around his head, President Trump, Photoshop next to a picture of Jesus. At the end of the day, I don't even think this is all about Christianity at all. This is about something a lot more serious and a lot more dangerous. This is about the cult of personality. The only thing I can ever ask now is, what are they going to get triggered by next? Alright, you guys, that's it for this episode. You guys stay safe, stay metal, hail Satan, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.